The long-awaited Avengers Infinity War trailer finally came out a few days ago. So here at Brotrio, we are going to break it down to find every Easter egg and reference every bit of goodness that was in this trailer. Starting things off with Nick Fury's speech from the first Avengers being recited by himself and the other Avengers, such as Iron Man, Vision, and Thor. Now, it is, I think, worth mentioning that Nick Fury gives this speech after Coulson dies. So the theory that an Avenger is going to die in this movie seems they're pretty much just like hammering that theme into your heads for this trailer. And we see this planet that's clearly it's not Earth. It's, maybe some other planet like Xandar or something. And something's going on. There's some form of vast like weather system happening. Probably it's Thanos, you know, on this planet wrecking shop to get his army or his Infinity Stone, whichever one he's going after at this point. Then we get this nice shot of Tony Stark in his little hoodie, but the background looks very similar to the atmosphere of that planet. So it looks like Tony Stark is on that planet, so maybe Thanos creates a portal and the Avengers go to fight him on this planet or something. But Tony Stark looks sad, and he's generally not thrown by too much, so it's got to be something big that happened.
To bring together.
And here we see Bruce Banner has crashed through the Sanctum Sanctorum and he's very confused. Doctor Strange and Wong are there. They're equally confused. This is a nice throwback to the Infinity War comics where Silver Surfer gets thrown through the roof of the Sanctum Sanctorum. But this time it's Hulk because, Silver Surfer's not in the MCU. But it's a really cool shot. Obviously, he didn't stay hulked out forever like he thought he would in Thor Ragnarok, or perhaps he was, and Doctor Strange and Wong used some of their magic to de-Hulk him.
A group of remarkable people.
And then we get this weird shot of Scarlet Witch and Vision in this apartment. It's reminiscent of the House of M apartment where Scarlet Witch gave birth to her and Vision's twins. I don't know if it's just a reference or if they're hinting towards them coming in the future. But the most notable thing here is that Vision is human. Now, I don't know if it's just Vision making himself look human because he made himself have a cape in Age of Ultron, or if it's Scarlet Witch making it seem like he's human for both of them in some sort of vision or something. Her powers are very undefined in the MCU, so it could be anything. It also could just be a dream. And here we see Thor. Looks like he's contemplating. He's on a spaceship, and as you can see by these orange structures of the spaceship, is more than likely he's on the Milano with the Guardians of the Galaxy. This is probably right after they pick him up, and he is just very confused and contemplating what his next move should be.
We could fight the battles.
And here we see Bruce Banner next to a Hulkbuster gauntlet. He might be fixing it, he might just be standing next to it. Either way, he's talking with Black Widow, and she is now blonde because she betrayed her team for Captain America in Civil War, so now she's presumably on the run and dyed her hair that color to hide more efficiently. And it seems like their romance might be coming back. They both look kind of bashful and smiling, but we'll see more of that once the movie comes out. And here we see Doctor Strange, Wong, Bruce Banner, and Tony Stark in the Sanctum Sanctorum. And they all look confused. Bruce Banner has clothes on now, and Tony Stark is holding what looks to be a cell phone, but it's pretty low tech for a Tony Stark cell phone. So this more than likely is the burner phone Captain America FedEx to him at the end of Civil War. So I'm guessing it's going down, and Tony Stark is calling Cap to get some backup.
You will know what it's like to lose. To feel so
And here we
desperate that you
finally get to see Peter Parker's spider sense in action. He's just riding the bus, minding his own business, then his hairs all stand up because something's going down.
fail all the same.
He looks out the window and he sees this massive circular machine. I'm guessing this is a portal device to teleport Thanos' army or his ship onto Earth. I'm not sure what this is, but it's apparently big news if it's setting off his spider sense from that big of a distance. And here we see Doctor Strange, Wong, Bruce Banner, and Tony Stark all on these destroyed New York streets. And most notably is Tony Stark has an arc reactor in his chest again. It looks triangular and not really circular, so maybe it's a new form of arc reactor. It also looks to have a lot of border around the arc reactor, so I'm guessing it might be his suit. Like maybe he just wears the arc reactor on his chest and like slaps it, and then his whole suit comes out of that one spot. Right, and here we see Loki stepping over some dead Asgardians, and he is offering up the Tesseract to someone, presumably Thanos. So it is confirmed Loki stole the Tesseract in Thor Ragnarok, and he seems to be bartering for his life with it because he looks dirty, like he was caught in an explosion. So maybe he's just like, hey, don't kill me. I have the Space Stone. And then here's the big shot of the trailer. Thanos teleports in, presumably using the Space Stone he just acquired, and he looks intimidating. He doesn't have his armor like he had in the past movies, but he also has at least two Infinity Stones, so he really doesn't need it. And I wish he was more purple. Like he looks a lot pinker than he used to. But Thanos looks intimidating, and you can really tell that they are using motion capture for Josh Brolin because he looks awesome. And here we see our first look at the Iron Spider armor. Peter Parker apparently just needed it for this. He saw something going down big and wanted that armor upgrade that he turned down at the beginning of Homecoming. But it looks like he has the Iron Spider armor on, and he is trying to stop this whirling portal machine, whatever the circular machine in the sky is. He's trying to do his best to stop it. And then we see Thor in this big ring construct, whatever this is. There's a big glowing light, so my theory is he's either reforging a new hammer in a dying star, and this is like a space forge he's using, or he's on his Asgardian arc and is doing the best he can to like release an escape pod with the surviving Asgardians on it to save his people. Either way, he looks like he's having some trouble, and it's taken everything he has to do it. Right, and here we get our first look at Thanos' henchman, Proxima Midnight. One of his henchmen of the Black Order. She looks awesome. She's throwing her spear. Captain America catches it because he can see faster. And it's just a really cool look at one of Thanos' minions. So we know he's not alone, and he has more than just his army. And here we see T'Challa saying, "Get this man a shield." And Captain America walks up. He's bearded, his hair is longer, he doesn't have his star on his chest. He's just fighting for himself now, but why doesn't he have a shield? Because later in the trailer, they're all fighting in Wakanda. Did Tony just not bring his shield? Or are they still having that spat? Or did Scarlet Witch's vision she put in Tony Stark's head in Age of Ultron come true? Because in that, his shield is broken. So maybe his shield breaks earlier in the movie and then they get him a new shield. Maybe he'll get his holographic shield from the comics. And then we see Scarlet Witch using her powers on something, and she is also distracted by something or someone. So maybe she's using her powers to hold back enemies, and she looks kind of sad. So this might be her point of view from whenever Vision is getting that like staff in his head, because she looks pretty distraught, and if she's holding an army back while Vision gets his stone removed, that would be pretty upsetting for her to see. And here we see this new and improved Hulkbuster making its debut in Wakanda. It looks awesome, and I mean, it's a Hulkbuster that looks better than the one used in Age of Ultron, so it should be pretty awesome to watch that. And here we see this weird spire thing falling from the ground. We see them in the background, so I'm guessing it's not just debris falling down, because why would three of them be upright? It's got to be them forming some form of device or machine to do something big with, because these are huge. And here we get a good shot of Captain America and Black Panther fighting these four-armed aliens, the Outriders. Now in the comics, these aliens are more or less just mindless beasts that follow orders, and that's all they do. They don't really have minds to think on their own. They just follow orders and fight stuff. And then here we see poor Spider-Man getting choke slammed by Thanos. I'm guessing by this, the Spider-Man was one of the first on the scene, because he was fighting that machine earlier, and then now he's getting choke slammed by Thanos. I'm guessing poor Spider-Man was trying to save the world on his own before the other Avengers showed up, and he is getting just wrecked by Thanos. And here we see Vision getting the Infinity Stone pulled out of his head, presumably, by another member of the Black Order. This looks like Corvus Glaive, and his feet look awesome, and his weapon looks awesome, but that is all we see of him so far. And here we get this cool little scene of Thanos putting the Space Stone in his gauntlet. You can see he already has the Power Stone, which was held by the Nova Corps on Xandar at the end of Guardians 1. So Thanos has already wrecked the Nova Corps, presumably, at this point. And he just got the Space Stone from Loki. And it's really cool how the stones kind of seem like almost magnetically drawn to the gauntlet. Like he just drops it and then it just snaps into place. So Thanos has a minimum of 2 stones in this movie, which is, he's already overpowered without the stones. So 2 is ridiculous, and he's gonna get 6 by the end, I'm sure. Now here we have a really awesome shot of Thanos just decking Iron Man. It looks like he knocked him out, because it is probably one hell of a punch. And I mean, Iron Man, he's on the ground and it's only for a second, but he looks fully unconscious. But also, one thing I noticed is really quick to see it, but there is like a green gleam whenever Thanos is punching. So maybe Thanos already has the Time Stone at this point and is using it, because the debris in the background seems to be stationary, which that could just be some BS gravitational effects happening. But I think Thanos might have the Time Stone, because unless it's just a weird lens flare, that green glow is there. Here we get an awesome shot of Falcon flying over this battlefield. You have the Wakandans on one side and the Outriders on another side, and you have Hulkbuster in the middle. He looks like he's getting a little overwhelmed by the Outriders because I mean that big suit can't have that good close range combat. I'm assuming, and he looks like he's having some trouble. But here comes Falcon to get him off of him probably. And this is one of the best scenes in the trailer. You have Captain America, Black Panther, Hulk, Black Widow, Bucky, War Machine, and Falcon all leading the Wakandan army into battle. You can notice, one, Bucky has his arm back because it was gone when he got frozen at the end of Civil War. And he's been chilling in Wakanda, so hopefully this arm is made out of vibranium, so that'll buff up Bucky quite a bit. And he doesn't have his red star on his arm anymore. Cap doesn't have the star on his chest anymore, so they are just fighting for themselves without fighting for their country. Also worth mentioning is Captain America's arm guards look a lot like some Black Panther tech or something. They look like they might shoot darts out, or who knows what they do. They might just be some like African forearm shields. But Cap looks pissed. Hulk is obviously mad, and this is an amazing shot.
Who the hell are you guys?
And here is the final stinger of the trailer. We get this dirty Thor. Presumably, he survived the explosion of his ship because they pulled up on Thanos' ship at the end of Thor Ragnarok. Guessing Thanos just like wrecked it, and Thor was just floating out in space because he looks dirty, he looks confused, he looks hurt, and he just looks all around exhausted. He's asking, "Who the hell are you?" And he obviously gets rescued by the Guardians of the Galaxy. So that's going to be amazing to see the Guardians finally meet up with the rest of the MCU. And also worth mentioning is Groot is still looks to be in his teenage form. So maybe he'll hit full adulthood by the movie. Maybe he'll just be a badass teenager like Spider-Man. And that is everything I spotted worth mentioning in this trailer. I think I covered just about everything. If I didn't, please let me know in the comments. I would love to see what I didn't catch. And let me know whatever you liked and what you're most excited for Avengers Infinity War. I can't wait for this movie. May can't come soon enough. But we have Black Panther coming out in February to tide us over. So until then, this has been Brotrio. Thanks for watching this breakdown, and we'll catch you next time.